Hey guys, sorry I couldn't be at school today, but here's the gist of what you'll be doing today. You are going to copy down what I do today on your own separate sheet of paper, and then you're going to do some practice about what we're doing. So what we're doing is these cheat sheets, and I try to make them look cute. I try to make them look pretty. And basically what this is you're going to be able to use it on a portion of your test at the end of this unit. So it is really a cheat sheet. So make sure that everything I say and do, you are also writing down as well, because it's going to help you on future tests, okay? So, what we learned the other day was all about demand. And demand, remember, means our desire for goods and services. And we learned two different graphs. Change in quantity demanded, which is on the left side I have over here, and change in demand, which is on the right side, what I have over here, okay? So let's focus in on that change in quantity demanded. Underneath, go ahead and set up your page just like I have set up mine. Go ahead and pause your video, set it up like this. All right, so we're going to focus on the left side first. And this is the graph when there is a change in the current price of the good itself. So that means that if the market of the graph, what we're graphing and talking about is pizza, and the current price of pizza changes, then that's going to be a change in quantity demanded, how much we want. It's only if the current price of the good changes. The market of the graph is backpacks, and the current price of backpacks changes, goes up or down, then it's going to be a change in quantity demanded graph. So the first thing we start with is a downward sloping demand curve. Label it with a D, okay? We start with an equilibrium price. P goes on this side, and quantity goes here. So price is how much things cost. Quantity is how much we will demand of those things, okay? So there's only two ways prices can go, right? Prices can go up and prices can go down. So I'm going to do the first one in blue. Let me change my pen to blue. If the price goes up of, let's say it's tacos, the price of tacos goes up. Here's the original price, and we need to make that price go up. We're going to set a price above. We're going to label it a new price, P1. And from that price, we're going to go over and we're going to go down. We hit that demand curve. And where we hit that demand curve and go down, that is our new quantity one. And on every single graph, when we have an old line and a new line, we need to put an arrow from old to new. An arrow from old to new, okay? After we graph it, we have to describe what happened on the graph. And that would be the reason for the change. So what happened when price went up? It led to, when we look at the graph, a decrease in quantity demanded. And that's just human behavior. If things get more expensive, we don't want to buy it. So that's one of the reasons for the change, okay? Now let's see what happens if price goes down. And I'm going to do that in red so it's really easy to see. So if the original price is this black color right here, and that black color goes down, the price goes down, we're going to set a new price below, and it's our second new line, so we're going to call it P2. And from that new price, we're going to go over, hit the demand curve, and go down. Okay? Where that demand curve was hit by the price and goes down, that is our quantity. So what happened from old to new? Our old line was black, and our new line is red. It looks like price went down, but quantity increased. So how do we describe this? When price goes down, the quantity demanded increases. And that's just human behavior. If things are cheaper, we want to buy more because we feel like we're getting a good deal. Okay? So that is the quantity demanded graph. And the only time you would ever choose this graph or write out this graph is if there's a change in the current price of the good itself. So let's take a look at the other graph we learned yesterday, and let's review it. The other graph is a little bit simpler, but there are more reasons for the change, okay? So the definition of a change in demand graph is when there's a change in the 6 forces other than the price of the good itself. And we had all those 6 forces, and I'd love for you to try and remember them off the top of your head before I write them out. So you can go ahead and pause this, try and remember those. And now we're going to write them out down here, okay? So there are 6 reasons. I'm going to go ahead and put 6 bullet points. And I apologize for my handwriting. Remember, I'm writing in shorthand too. So here are reasons for change. There's a change in income. So if people make more or less money, if they make more money, they're going to buy more stuff. If they make less money, they're going to buy less stuff. If there's a change in future, or sometimes called expected price, that would cause a change in demand, because if we know something is going to go on sale in the future, we won't buy it now. If there's a change in number of consumers, more people means we're going to buy more, less people means less stuff is going to be bought. Change in taste or preferences. Preference means you prefer something. And sometimes we call this popularity too. So change in taste, if it's more popular, we're going to buy it more. And the silly example I gave you in class was silly bands. No one buys those little silly band bracelets anymore. Demand for those has gone down because they're not popular anymore. All right, 2 more. Change in price, P, of a complementary good. So these are goods that go together. Like chips and salsa, we buy together. Peanut butter and jelly, we buy together. Hot cocoa and marshmallows, we buy together. And if the price of one of those changes, then it's going to affect how much we demand of the other one. So if the price of hot cocoa is more, I'm not going to buy as many marshmallows. My demand for marshmallows will go down, okay? And then change in price of a substitute good. And these are goods that you could sub in, okay? Like, I don't need to get a Big Mac, I could get a Whopper. I don't need to get a Sonic Blast, I could get a Blizzard. We can swap those goods out for each other. And in swapping them out for each other, it means I don't have to buy Nike, I could buy Adidas, meaning that my demand for Nike might go down. Here's an example of change in price of a substitute good. If the market of the graph, the problem is all about tacos, and the price of burritos goes up, well, I'm not going to buy burritos if they're more expensive. I'll buy more tacos. So my demand for tacos will go up because I could buy one or the other. It doesn't really matter to me. Okay, so I know that you're thinking over here, and we talked about this in class yesterday, that change in the current price of the good itself would change our P's and Q's on our quantity demanded graph. And that some of these down here say price in them. And you're like, oh, well, that's price of the good itself, so it must be changing quantity demanded. It's not the current price of the good itself. One of these is future price. Some of them are prices of other goods that are surrounding it, so they're considered outside forces. So how do we graph this? Let me show you. We start with our downward sloping demand curve. Ooh, let me do that bolder. Downward sloping demand curve, label it with a D. Ooh, well, maybe not. I'm sorry, we're going crazy over here. Label it with a D. There we go. And let's make demand increase to begin with. And we'll do that in blue. And remember, an increase, we'll shift it to the right. Right is left. Right is more and left is less. So we'll shift that over to the right. New line, new name, and an arrow from old to new. And so this has shown a change in demand. And we would fill in change in demand due to blank. And we'd fill in one of those 6 reasons, okay? Now let's do the opposite. A decrease in demand, new line, new name, and an arrow from old to new. And this would decrease because it's shifted to the left. And we would say decrease in demand due to change in one of these reasons right here. Okay, so here's our little cheat sheet. Make sure that you have all of this copied down. Make sure it says demand cheat sheet, your name up at the top. You're going to keep this in your notes, and I'll check for it tomorrow for some points. Okay, thank you.